All right. Hey,
Hello.
cheers.
Cheers.
So, Rich, have you seen the memories of when you were here?
Yes.
Would you like to remember about that first day when I took you to school with me?
Yes.
Take yourself back to that morning I took you to kindy and made you play. What did I make you play? I made you play Four Corners
The
when you
first
had
things that Rose was that she thought it was hilarious just how pained I look at every various activities that I was doing. I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
I won't lie, I did feel like I was torturing you, pushing you some sort of ordeal that you did not sign up for when you decided to come to Taiwan.
And then it's just like, we're going to play this game. Okay.
You were great though. You were great. They loved you. They still talk about you now.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Especially Shining, Array, and Ericsson.
Yeah.
We didn't feature on that episode, but they'll be coming up in a future episode. They reference you every lesson. So yeah, okay. So we had that first day. I threw you into that whole 9 until like 8. It was. It's like 11 hours. So how did you feel after that? Do you remember?
I remember being absolutely, in every way, like, completely, utterly shattered.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad because like, I'm not even the one teaching. I'm just like for most of the day, I've just sat at the back. But I was so tired. I was like, fuck this shit. Like, it's yeah, put me off teaching for life if I needed any.
Don't say that. You were great. You're a natural. I think, but I think if you went on your own accord, I think you'd get into it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Maybe.
It's cool seeing you out there though, and sort of seeing, because as much as it kind of always sounds like you really don't like it, you're still pretty good at it. So it's just like that's nice having that side of it, if nothing else.
Thank you for saying so. Thank you for saying so.
Yeah.
All right, and then Saturday happened in the adventure, and we went to the mountains. What do you remember about that experience?
I think I remember it was a nice first taste of what everything else Taiwan had to offer. Us doing something suitably ill-advised. And then I also remember the pain of being sat on the back of your motorbike for like 4 hours, being barely able to walk by the end of the day.
Yeah, there's no like footage of us driving really, but we were on it for a long time, weren't we? I think. I want to talk about the waterfall because what we don't see in the video is the transition from us being down at the bottom by the pool and then being at the top of the waterfall. There's like something happened there. Now we do have one thing that I can show everyone, which is a photograph Christina took on her Instagram, and I'll show that now. And then in that photo, you can see these two figures holding aloft a backpack. That would be us, those fools. So we did that twice, actually. The first time, I thought I could hold up a backpack in one hand and record it with the GoPro in the other hand, which I'm not sure what was going through my mind at that point, because that basically means swimming with no hands. And like somehow keeping myself afloat with my elbows and with my legs, which didn't work. So I ended up trying to.
Is the footage just like the camera sinking into the water and
I didn't even turn it on. I didn't even get a chance to turn it on. I don't think. Because by the time I was like, right, I should turn it on now, I was already struggling. I didn't want to I couldn't let it go, so I was swimming with a fist with this hand, and then holding up a backpack with this hand. I struggled that first time. I was using up way more energy than I should have been. And yeah.
it was that kind of awkward moment where like there was a lot of hesitation, and once we'd committed, it was like we got halfway. It was like, oh no, what have we done?
Yeah, it was like we had so much energy to get there. It would have been harder to turn around and go back than it was just like it's just there now. We just have to get it. It's like.
But then the thing that I don't think had even really crossed our minds is we were ultimately swimming towards a waterfall. So the closer we got to said waterfall, the harder it got.
Yeah.
And then we got to the base, and then like thankfully the first time there was that guy from the other group who was.
Yeah. I still like have day nightmares when I think about it, and if that guy wasn't there, like I was ready. I don't know if I said to you before, but I was pretty much ready to drop the bag at that point, like, or the GoPro, something. I was like at the point where I needed to change what was happening, otherwise I was gonna go underneath. I got up there with the rope, got the bag up there. I was absolutely exhausted. Richard, you were still down in the bottom, and you went.
I was still in the pool. I was like, okay, now what's going to happen? I could see that you were as far from keen to come back down to bring the other bag across. It's kind of like I was like floating around, and I think I didn't feel too bad because I don't think I had sort of struggled as much as you did on that first leg, and so and I was just kind of in that weird like, okay, at this point I can't speak to him. And he's basically collapsed in a heap at the top of the waterfall. I'm like, the people that had helped us out, they've gone. I was like, okay, what's the strategy going to be now?
You could have gone all the way back around, but the problem is I had one of your boots in my backpack. Because we thought it would be a good idea to like split your boots up. So you had one boot, and I had the second boot. And I was like, oh, he can't walk back. Or he has to like hobble. So what happened was I refreshed a little bit, and then I had the only way back in. I had to jump into the pool, which was pretty fun to be fair, and and then I swam back, and then we did it again. But we did it, and we got there, and you got the bag up, and we both survived. We didn't drown.
It's like, anyone watching this video or the last one will probably be like, these guys are literally, that's like one of the most moronic things.
I think they'll look at the waterfall and be like, oh, that doesn't look that bad. It looks like quite nice. And that's what we thought. You get in there and it was like one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Plus, I'm not that physically fit right now as well. So I didn't have that like stamina that was required.
I think it wasn't as much as it was the waterfall bit was the problem. Like, it looked nice. It was nice when we got in the pool. Like, while we were casually swimming halfway across the pool, it was still fine. And then it just it got exponentially harder the closer you got to the waterfall. And then it was like, error.
But we did it.
We did it.
Interweb, thousands of miles away. High five. Yes. So, we then had a 4-hour bike journey around the mountains in the darkness, as you said before, running out of gas. And but then, eventually, we got to a Taiwanese barbecue place. What did you do? Do you remember the barbecue?
I do.
What do you think about that?
I think it was. I was already growing at this point the idea that food in Taiwan is like, it's like 2 weeks of like all the different forms of foods and all going to all your favorite food establishments, and it was like, for that alone it's just like amazing. And yeah, it was a good night, and I think that we had barbecue a couple of times, but I think that was probably the best one by far.
Yeah, it was good.
Was super tasty.
Alright, well, will I be able to grab you for a review of the next one?
Probably,
maybe. I might have to put this video up. Sorry, go on.
Depends on how awkward this video comes in.
I know, I was gonna say I might have to put this video up as like a whole other video, and then just cut up a little bit for the Sunday one, and be like, if you want to watch the whole crazy conversation, go here. The internet, watching us talk to each other. Alright, thank you for the update.
Well, thank you for whatever the opposite of that is.
providing the update. I think.
Thank you for inviting me to chat with you across the world of the internet.
Alright, I will speak to you the next. I'm not really saying goodbye. This is just for the YouTube. Alright, well, until next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey.